What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome to episode 24 of the Charge to the Top here with Hereford FC. And today I have for you guys an end of season live commentary. Yes, today we're going to be taking on Bath. This should be the game that seals us the title if, and it's a big if, things go to plan. Of course, last episode we had a live commentary against, I can't remember who it was. It was Bromley. Of course it was. We had two players sent off. It wasn't the greatest of games. Since then, 3 games. We actually lost our amazing unbeaten run to Wealdstone. Wasn't too happy about that. Duffman sent off. Poor discipline all around for both teams, actually, looking at it. In the end, it was 2-0, but I consider it 1-0. The fact that Karoma scored in the 95th minute from a penalty was really just a sign of the fact we were just over-committing men up the pitch, in truth, desperately chasing a draw. Anyway, following on from this, we did beat Salisbury 2-0. Good result, but Ote injured and, well, he's out for the rest of the season. Strained ankle ligaments means that his goal tally will remain at 35. Still an amazing return, really, for him. And yeah, a good win all in all. Hanbury getting both the goals actually in that 2-1 win. And then in our most recent game, we took on Weston-super-Mare. Of course, a team who were right up there at the top of the table very early on. And we won 3-0. A good result in the end. And you can see, looking at the league table here, we currently sit 8 points ahead of Billericay. 3 games remaining in the season. They also play today, and they're going to be taking on, if we just take a look here, Chelmsford. As you can see, Billericay, they've won their last 5 games in a row, only conceded 1 goal in those 5 games as well. So this is not going to be kind of a given, I guess, when we go into this first game. But a win for us would be good enough. If they slip up as well, that would again secure us the title today. Of course, following on from the end of the match, I am going to be doing the end of season review this episode. So I'll kind of skip forward, get to all the awards. We'll take a look at them. Who did well, who didn't. Kind of all that jazz. Anyway, in terms of the club, finances are looking good. £670,000 in the bank. We are steadily making money. Worth noting, our wage budget sits at £13,000. We are currently spending £12,500. I don't think I mentioned it in a video, but I did ask for a little bit more wage budget a little while ago now, a few months ago, and it was granted by the board, so that was nice. You can see in general we've been making some pretty good money. In terms of our team report, a screen that I don't really show enough, but you can see here we've got 3,200 fans turning up for every game, which is really, really good. Of course, a big source of income for us here at the club. And our stadium does hold, as you can see here, 5,000 people, so there's still room, you know, to sell that out more frequently to obviously subsidise our wages and such. Ote's the top goal scorer in the league. We've got a very talented young team. All in all, a lot of strengths here as I scroll through them all, which is particularly pleasing. In terms of our weaknesses, a leadership void. We have a little bit of perhaps weakness at right back. Centre back can maybe do. We've been improving. And Lumley in goal again. Maybe we need to get a better backup goalkeeper. Last episode I talked about the fact that there were some players who I wanted to extend their contracts, but they had ludicrous demands. Following on almost immediately from that last episode, they all lowered their demands amazingly, which was nice because it meant Kane Smith was no longer asking for £2,000 per game he played in. Instead, he's now signed a new deal at the club where he gets actually paid £200 a week and a £100 appearance fee. And worth noting, he's willing to play as a backup, which is really good news. It means that these players, you know, they're going to have actually lower wages than a lot of them had previously. And in addition to that, I have basically a lower wage, but I give them a slightly larger appearance fee. It kind of works well with players like Kane Smith. A good example of that as well, I guess, is Duffman, who I believe was previously on £3,000 a week. He's now on £150 a week and £100 every time he plays. These players, I believe at least, willing to lower their wage demands because they know that it's more than likely we're going to be playing in a higher division come next year. Anyway, let's get into today's game against Bath. As I said, this should be the game that secures us the league. If it's not, I don't know what I'm going to do. I've not really thought that far ahead. Let's just hope we can do it. Let's go in with a positive mindset. They're currently 8th in the league, Bath, but we've gone in some okay form after that defeat and draw not that long ago. And hopefully we can give a good performance today. Looking at our team, it's going to be Payne and Hanbury up top. Of course, Ote out injured. Lumley in goal. Owens, Pickett, Branco and Smith at the back as standard back four. Anthony Wright, Goburn, who of course got sent off on his debut. He returns. Hopefully he can be better behaved today. Alongside Christy Davis. And we also have, as you can see here, Daniel Carr playing right midfielder for us. A position he can play. He's quite well suited to play as a winger as well, the 24-year-old. And yeah, hopefully he can give a good performance today. So anyway, let's get into the match. As I said and I will say again, and we'll probably say later on in this match, we can win the league here. A win is good enough. A draw would be good enough as well, I believe, if Billericay slip up. And, well, with 2 games remaining after this is, well, almost a foregone conclusion right now. But I thought it'd be nice to live-com the game that will hopefully get our noses over the line. Although, set piece early on in their favour, we deal with it reasonably well. Now Wilkin at the edge of the box hits it. Lumley with a nice little stop to turn it round the post. A half chance for Bath. And, well, the save was necessary. And it was well done in the end. And now Christy Davis going to get it clear. Can he chase onto it? Is he fast enough? No, he's not. Unfortunately, Miller Rodney going to beat him there in a straight out foot race. But early on here, Bath having the better of the play. Of course, they are away from home. The expectations on us as the home team, as the team top of the league, is to win. And we will have a chance here. Branco to Christy Davis. It's hoofed off the line. That was me trying to say hoofed, but I don't know why I came out with a weird noise. They hoofed it off the line. The guy on the post boots it clear for Bath. It was a good opportunity for us, a clear-cut chance, in fact. And, well, we've not had a whole lot of the ball when it comes to possession, but we have had the first clear-cut chance of the game. Worryingly, perhaps, Oscar Goburn, the new man on the block, bucked. Sent off on his last debut. I don't know what I'm going to do if he gets sent off 2 games in a row. Artus, set piece here, blocked away nicely. Wilkin, though, with it. Bath with the ball in our half. We need to deal with this. Branco goes flying in. He's on a booking. He needs to be well behaved. This could be a counter-attack, though. Hanbury, so much space in front of him. Can he finish it? He smashes it. The goalkeeper, Harvey, tipping it over the crossbar in the end. A good effort by him on the counter. A half chance for us. A good opportunity. We have got a few players on bookings. That kind of concerns me a little bit, if I'm honest. Goburn to right. Can he finish it? Great opportunity. It's cleared away for a corner. And, well, Bath, they've had more possession, they've had more shots. We seem to be having the better opportunities. But I've got to be honest, Duffman was sent off not that long ago. We had 2 descendings off in the last live com. I'm worried with all these bookings. We have another chance here. The ball still isn't clear. Goburn on a booking. Got to be well behaved. Lays it off to Owens. And, well, that's going to be the end of that chapter. And, well, the highlight ends. I'm worried. 2 defenders on bookings. Goburn on a booking. Please don't get sent off 2 games in a row in live commentaries. What are people who are watching going to think of me signing you if that happens, Goburn? They're not going to rate my decision making if I keep playing you as well. Right, though. Can he make a good decision? He can. He gets it into the mixer. And it's Sean Hanbury who's there. Scores it. It's his 8th goal of the season, of course. Hanbury, such a crucial player for us last year, was really a difference maker. Was in the team of the year in the league. A player we looked upon for a lot of goals. And he contributed last year. This year, you know, he's found himself a bit on the fringes. But we've called upon him when we have had striker injuries. And we have had our fair share with the likes of Quigley, of course, out now for the rest of the season. And with his contract expiring, of course, Ote injured now. So it's good to see him perform. And, well, we might have another chance here. Branco, he's on a booking. I think that's his 2nd goal of the season. Indeed it is. In off the crossbar. Christy Davis, the centre-back. Lovely ball into the box with that cross. And, well, he put in an initial effort. It was cleared away. 2nd bite of the cherry. Floats it to the back post. Branco, the Brazilian, launches himself in off the underside of the crossbar. He is loving it. It's 2-0 here. Somewhat against the run of play. I say that, actually. I take that back because the game is drastically turned on its head following the first goal. We have been by far and away the better team statistically, particularly as the game went on. We started to get more and more into the game. And, well, 2-0 up here. We're going to win the league if things stay as they are. Of course, Billericay playing as well. We'll just see how they're getting on. I assume that they are... Okay, that just took a while to load. Latest scores is what I want. They're drawing at the moment with Chelmsford, Billericay. We'll keep this up. We'll keep an eye on it. But really, this game is our focus. A win here, good enough. And we're on the attack again here. Carr, I believe he's still looking for his first goal at the club. Dispossessed. Ball cleared away. But only as far as Branco. Oh, Christy Davis. Lays it forward to Hanbury. Carr out wide, not quite getting to the ball there. And now, well, Bath going to be looking to respond early on in the second half. Bringing forward the ball. I think that was a shot. Oh dear, that was not a good effort for Bath. A wasted opportunity perhaps. And, well, another highlight going to follow immediately. This second half has burst into life very early on. In fact, it's Bath with the ball here. We need to defend well if we can. Brian, number 9. To Duffy, the right back, switched across to Bird. Nice build-up play, and Branco goes flying, and he scored earlier. He's going to get sent off now. I was worried. I should have been worried. I should have seen it coming. Should I have reacted? I guess that's a question which I'll always ask myself here. I am going to make a change. Payner's not had the greatest game, so we're going to take him off. We're going to bring in George Johnson at centre-back, just because that seems like a logical thing to do, really. Goburn's on a booking as well. I'm not going to risk it. I'm going to bring on Duffman for him. Of course, he got sent off in the last game, Oscar Goburn. So we're going to make that change. And I'm also going to, well, I'm going to leave on Kane Lewis, the right back, who is on a booking too. the club captain, of course, has signed a new deal with the club, which is good news. Kind of accepting his fate that he is going to be drifting out of first team contention next year and agreeing to be a backup player. He's on a booking, but he hasn't got a bad disciplinary record. I'm going to put my faith in him with 25 minutes left to be a good boy. We're down a man. We're playing a 4-4-1. Perhaps the lone striker going to be getting a little bit alienated, but at the same time, this is very much about seeing out this match now. 15 minutes remaining. It remains 2-0. No chances really flying in either end. Bath have had the better of the play here in the second half. They do have the attack here. It is cleared away, but only so as Miller-Rodney. Now is Smith. Bath going to be looking to get a goal, which could see them get some late momentum. I said I was going to trust Kane Smith. He's gone and got himself sent off. This is the second game in a row where we've had 2 red cards. What is discipline? 5 red cards in our last 5 games. I mean, do I take blame for this? Is this my fault? I don't know how it could be. I mean, what do I play Carr at right back? He can't really play there. Owens, can you play right back? No. Okay, can you play centre back? No. I'm afraid you're going to have to, my friend. We're gonna park the bus in a similar way that we did last game. I didn't think this formation would be returning so soon, but it is. We'll go with this. It's not conventional in truth, but it's a 3-2-2-1, I guess. We only have 5 minutes to see out. Fortunately, in this game, despite having 2 red cards, the game is long gone. We're already in the lead, and we are going to become victors here. And that is going to see us lift the title in this division. 2 red cards for 2 games in a row. What is discipline? What is it? Billericay, they actually lost 2-1 as well against Chelmsford, so they really did blow it there. We'll have a quick look at our finances and stuff. As I said earlier, I'm going to skip now at the end of this episode to the end of the season. We'll have a look through some of the stats, have a little bit of a talk about what's coming up next season. But yeah, as you can see here, it is now official. We do win the Vanarama South. A great win in the end there. 2-0 against Bath despite 2 sendings off. Player of the match was actually Branco, who got sent off. Never seen that before, a player gets sent off and get man of the match. We get a booking for failing to control our players. The board set the budget, wage budget of £18,000. That's a big increase. That's very, very good news. Transfer budget set at £140,000. Again, good stuff. I'd like to go professional if we can, please, board. We're praised by the Hereford supporters. The board are very happy with the achievement of winning the league. Can I ask the board to go pro? Is that an option that we have? Professional status, please let us go pro. They don't have the confidence in me at the moment. They want to see improve. I mean, Football Manager, go home, you are drunk. That is, I can understand not giving us professional status, but that reason doesn't wash with me. We've just won the league, for Christ's sake. Anyway, should we end things there? Let's go forward in time. We have 2 games left. You're not that interested in them. They're fairly arbitrary at this moment in time. We'll probably rotate the side a little bit. But yes, we are Vanarama South champions. Let's have a look back at the season. And, well, future Jack, take it away. Okay, guys, so here we are. It's the end of the season. I do want to keep this rather short, but at the same time, I feel like it's always good to bring a little bit of closure to kind of each season. Of course, this marked the end of Season 3, and as you can see at the start of the season, you know, we were expected to be in the running for a playoff place, but we performed even better and ended up finishing top of the pile. It was a good year. It was a good year, and the reason it was such a good year actually was because I was a little bit apprehensive at the start. I wasn't quite sure where we lied. You know, you kind of look at our transfer dealings as a whole. We didn't strengthen as much as I'd like. I feel like the additions we've made as the season has gone on have been improvements, particularly the additions of Stephen Payne and Branco. Just 2 superb players that really added a bit of strength to our team. Lumley as well in goal was a very good player, of course, on loan from QPR. But it was quite good to see that a lot of players really just stepped up. Of course, the addition of players like Isaac Christie-Davis also helped, and Chris Owens as well from Telford. And I feel like we're in a situation now where I feel a lot more confident going into next season than I did previously, kind of going into the league that we are now leaving, if that makes sense. This time last year, I wasn't quite, I don't know, so happy with the squad. In terms of, obviously, the board side of things, they're delighted. They're happy that we won the league, particular highlight. They feel like Chris Owens, not the best financial deal, which I find a little bit odd. He came in for £6,500. He's looking like a fantastic player for us. His contract runs out at the end of next year. I'd like to extend that if possible. I think he's a very, very talented left-back and a very, very good player. But alas, the board don't necessarily agree. But you can see, looking at the overall happiness here, obviously delighted with the club's stature. We've come a long way in the last 3 years, and it's pretty pleasing to see where we are now. In terms of the end of season reviews and awards, you can see fans player of the season was Ote. Keenan Bennett's actually not as far off him as you might expect. And Anthony Wright also collecting up a decent portion of the votes. Of course, Joe Quigley, who sadly for us has obviously got his... I don't want to say his kind of career-ending injury, but I think it sees the end of his career here at Hereford, really. But he did get that goal of the season. I feel like we have to watch it once more. If you didn't see the episode where I covered this, like, get ready. Like, I don't know what to tell you. This is just an absolutely insane goal. One of the best goals I've seen in FM this year. A 90th minute winner to win a game 2-1. I mean, that kind of game is always special anyway. I feel like, you know, when you score a goal late on, to win a game, it always is good. But when it goes in like this one went in, where Harris flicks up to Ote, who nods it down, and then it's just hit on the volley, I mean, that's just a truly special goal. And the fact that that won us the game against Gosport, just, you know, that adds another layer of it all. Anyway, the signing of the season, perhaps a surprise one, Joe Willock, a very young player, but he did make a little bit of a name for himself. Obviously, had a few appearances on off the bench as well. A youngster released by Arsenal, spent a year out of football, decided he did want to stay in the game and he was willing to take a step down to us. I really like this guy. I don't see him playing down the middle so much as playing out wide on the wing. I think his physicals are absolutely superb, and hopefully he can continue to improve. I don't think he'll ever be a key part of our first team, not in the immediate future at least, but if he can continue to develop, he'll certainly be a player who has to be on my mind. In terms of the team of the year, you can see Hanbury and Ote up top, Anthony Wright, Duffman, Christy Davis and Bennett's in the midfield. We have Owen, Rafael Branco, Piggott and Smith at the back, and Joel Driscoll, who only played half the season of course in goal, did get the goalkeeper kind of a nod, I guess, for the team of the season. Anyway, if we look at the best overall 11 here, obviously fantastic records. Ote leading the way, 79 goals in 81 games for him. Absolutely crazy stuff. Can he make the step up next year? That's kind of the big question, I guess, for me. Obviously, he's out injured at the moment. My concern is that he just isn't quite going to be of the standard that we need him to be, and I want to give him a chance. I really do, because I really like this guy. And in my past saves, and if I wasn't quite so, I guess, fond of this guy, I'd be replacing him at this point. But I do want to give him a chance. The dilemma, I guess, is if he doesn't fire in goals, it's not the easiest position, the striker position, to just bring someone else new in. But he's certainly a player there who I want to give a chance next year. Dan Townsend also up here, of course, a player who's been here since the first year, of course, torn his groin muscle now. He's really struggled for first team football this year, sadly, and I think it's going to mark the end of his time at the club, in truth. Keenan Bennett's definitely worth a mention. Obviously, a 7.41 average rating for him in 65 games, 17 goals in those, but his assists as a winger have been sublime. Of course, released by Tottenham Hotspur, he came to us, and he's really developed into a great player. The fans like him. I like him. Similarly to Ote, I don't know if he can quite make that step up now to the Vanarama National League, but I want to give him a chance to at least try and do it. And I feel like him and Ote are the two players really that I can see getting squeezed out of this team a little bit as we go forward. Obviously, you can see our squad here right now. One thing I have done is I've started moving the players who are not going to be around next season into the under 23s. This so that we can really see the squad that I see myself keeping going into next season. So you can kind of look at it as a whole. It's kind of obvious where some of the gaps are. I feel like defensively we need a few new faces. We definitely need a new goalkeeper to challenge with Joel Driscoll. He's been a fantastic goalkeeper, has Joel. And he's 22 and he is still developing. But at the same time, I feel like we're getting to a stage now where if there's a better goalkeeper available, I might well need to bring him in. You can see Driscoll, he played 32 games for us. Only a 6.9 average rating, unfortunately, for him. Looking slightly elsewhere, you can kind of see in the midfield, I feel fairly confident with our strength. I'd like to maybe bring in one or two new wingers, I feel like. Maybe one new centre mid, but obviously with the addition of Oscar Goburn and Isaac Christie Davis as the season went on, I feel like in those two players we have just an extremely potent centre mid partnership that can really work well together. Obviously Goburn, very good defensively. Christie Davis, on the other hand, very good playmaker and a very young player as well, Christie Davis, someone who I definitely think can grow. In terms of perhaps the hottest young prospect in the team, I think it has to be Danny Smith, a player who, to be honest, I've not given that much love to, and I don't know how much he's going to play next season, but he's continuing to improve and he's continuing to develop. He's a consistent performer. He's only 18 years old. He spent this year out on loan, or yeah, it was this year, out on loan at Worcester, where he did play 26 games and get 12 assists, which is fantastic. Of course, a player who we did sign from Haverhill Borough, a team who we have poached a few players off before. He's only 18 years old. He's still developing and he's developed well. And I want to try and give him first team opportunities. Obviously, the big challenge really for any player in our side is at the rate at which we're currently rising through the divisions, particularly the younger players, it's difficult for them to kind of keep up with the standard that they need to be for the next division we're going into. But this guy is definitely playing catch up and playing it quite well. I definitely think he might get a little bit of first team football next year. Of course, there's players like Duffman and Hamilton who have kind of been good players in the team, and they were great players when they first came into the side when we were in the Southern Premier. But much like, for example, Ote, like Keenan Bennett, I just don't know quite how much they're going to feature in the team next year. And I want to keep them in the team, but obviously there's a chance that they might move on. I might, just not be able to find a spot for them. I'm hoping that won't be the case. Obviously, you can kind of see our team here. This is what I consider a core of the team I'd like to keep. It's 19 players. It's definitely not a squad. I definitely feel like it needs a few new faces, particularly in the defensive area, even if it's just to add some more strength in depth and just a few very good backup players. But obviously, we have got the money to do that. You kind of look at our transfer budgets here, £140,000, £7,500 on the wages. We have money here to bring in players. Looking at the realistic transfers, there are some very good players here, and I'm going to be continuing to scout the young players who do become available to see if there's any new additions in that regard who can really strengthen the team. There's some very good players here, and if we could sign one or two of them, I think they'd greatly improve our side. And obviously, much like what I have been doing in previous seasons, and I'll just mention this now because I know some people sometimes ask questions. You can see here I scout all the players who are being released. All these players have their contracts expiring in the next month or so, or at least they should do. Are they already expired? Is it more than a month? Anyway, some of them have actually been released already, as you can see here. I forget, actually, the youth players at English teams get released a month before the first team players. But what you can see here is I've scouted just so many players. And whilst a lot of these just aren't realistic transfers right now, if they don't immediately pick up clubs, their expectations in terms of the club that they expect to move to drop, their wage demands drop, they might be more willing to reconsider a move to Hereford. And as a result, I like to keep tabs on just as many players as possible here. And hopefully, one or two of them come good. And if they do, you get them in on a free, you actually save money kind of having scouted all the players and for signing one or two on frees rather than just paying transfer fees for players who usually aren't quite so good. Obviously, the club from a financial perspective is in a very, very good situation now. The balance is good. We made some good profit this season, almost £400,000. The average attendance at the club was good, but it wasn't kind of close to filling the stadium in truth. You can see here 65% full. Obviously, a massive reason that Hereford FC is able to run so profitably is because it's such a well-supported club versus other teams in the lower leagues of England. In fact, the attendances that we get wouldn't be out of place, say, in League Two. As a result, obviously, our wage totals are a lot lower. The fans are coming in more consistently. We don't have as many overheads because we're not a professional club yet. I would one day love to get there, of course. But it does mean that we are able to run kind of a very tight ship here and actually make some very, very good money. So yeah, I feel like this season as a whole has been another great year for us. I feel like there was a point in the season at which point I kind of realised this is our league for the taking. And you kind of look, we had that rough run in January where we got just one win in the month of January. And we really booked up our ideas from there. We beat Whitehawk 2-0. We beat Hungerford 6-0. We then took on Maidenhead. That was a very good 3-1 win. We then beat St Albans. And really from there, we really picked up some momentum and snowballed with it. And we continued to rise up through the league. And, just extend that gap at the top. We were actually top of the league for the majority of the table. It got very close during that January period. But at the same time, we were kind of always in a position, I feel like, of power. It always felt like it was kind of in our own hands. And you kind of look at the season as a whole, 104 goals scored. That is substantially more than any other team in this division. Defensively, not the greatest team by any means, but we were fairly good in our division. And you can actually see here, we had better kind of defences than both Billericay and Sutton, who finished second and third and who are going to be fighting it out in the playoff final. All in all, though, the goal difference of plus 56 perhaps really emphasises just how good we were this year. We really slaughtered teams, and I didn't really talk about it, but obviously there were two games since that Bath game. We actually lost 3-2 against Welling and then beat Chelmsford 3-1. But those games really don't mean a lot, I don't feel like, in the grand scheme of things. But anyway, guys, that is going to wrap up this episode from me. Thank you so much for watching, as always. For people wondering, Jack, what does your manager profile look like? You can take a look at it here. Obviously, we are notching up a fair few career achievements now here at Hereford FC, which is fantastic to see. So anyway, guys, if you have enjoyed today's episode, please do leave a like. If you have any kind of additional requests for stuff you'd like to see during these end-of-season reviews, feel free to let me know, any specifics. I'll try and encompass them in to potential kind of future videos. And yeah, that is all from me. If you've got any comments, as I already said, leave them down below. And other than that, it is me, Jack, and I will talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.